Audible?
Audible, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon. In the last class, I hope we have seen what is DSBSC. So, what is the power efficiency of DSBSC now? So, power efficiency will be 100%. Why? Because we are not wasting any power. So, entire power is being utilized. Okay. So, but in AM, it has got poor power efficiency. How much power efficiency in case of sinusoidal message signal? How much you got maximum?
33%, 33.3.
1 by 3. Okay. So if it is any signal, it is 1 by 2. So however, we cannot exceed more than 1 by 2. Okay. So that is a maximum power efficiency you get in case of AM. Means so you are wasting 50% of your power. Okay, that was a case in AM. But in DSBSC, we have removed that carrier so that we get 100% power efficiency. Okay, so it is a power efficient. So what is the bandwidth of DSBSC? Anybody?
2W.
2W, just like AM. So
Yes.
there is no change in the bandwidth, but there is a change in the power efficiency. Okay, so when it comes to bandwidth, AM and DSBS are same. Both are using 2W bandwidth. Okay. So next demodulation of DSBSC, as I told you already. So DSBSC cannot be demodulated by using envelope detector. Okay. So we have to go for another kind of demodulation. So that is called coherent receiver or coherent detector. Okay. So what we do there is, so we take X of t. What is X of t? Modulated signal, modulated DSBSC signal. Okay. So that is X of t. That is again multiplied with carrier, same carrier. Okay. Here we written. So demodulation can be carried out by multiplying with local carrier at the receiver. Okay. So this is what we transmit. Okay. Now the receiver, what we do? So we take the transmitted signal, multiply with the carrier, same carrier. So this is called local carrier at the receiver side. Okay. Now, so X of t is what? ACM of t cos 2 pi FCT. So ACM of t cos 2 pi FCT cos 2 pi FCT. Why? Because we are again multiplying entire term with cos 2 pi FCT at the receiver. Now R of t equal to ACM of t this whole square. Correct? So ACM of t common. What is cos square theta? 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. Now 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. So this is what we get. Okay. Now, so here we can write like this. ACM of t by 2 plus ACM of t into cos 4 pi FCT by 2. Okay. Now, so anyway, so this is a baseband signal. We know already M of t is a baseband signal. And this is a passband signal centered around what frequency? 2fc. Not fc, it is centered around 2fc. Otherwise, so the spectrum of this signal will be shifted by how much? 2fc, not fc. Spectrum of this signal is shifted by fc. We have seen already. So AC M of t cos 2 pi fct. So if you take the Fourier transform, so the spectrum of M of t will be shifted by fc to the left side as well as to the right side. Okay. In the same way, here the spectrum is shifted by 2fc because here we have how much? 4 pi fct we have. Here we have 2 pi fct. Okay. So here, so between these two terms, this has to be removed because this is unwanted. So at the receiver, what should be the output? Can you tell me? At the receiver side, what is the ideal output should be? Message signal. That is called demodulation, no? So what is demodulation? It's a process of recovering your message signal. Okay. Now here, so this term need to be eliminated. We have to get only this term. What is this term? Our message signal. Okay. So this can be eliminated by passing this signal through a low pass filter. Okay. with a cutoff frequency W. Okay. Now this is what we do. Now this is called synchronous or coherent demodulation of DSBSC. What do we do? So we take X of t, that is DSBSC signal. What is X of t? DSBSC signal, modulated signal. So locally we generate a carrier, that is local carrier. We multiply these two. Here you get something, and this output will be passed through a low pass filter having a cutoff frequency, that is W. Here what is W? The bandwidth of message signal. Okay. So after passing through low pass filter, what happens? This term will be rejected. Why it is rejected? So because it is having center frequency at Fc. Okay. So but this term will be passed through low pass filter. Why? Because so the low pass filter cutoff frequency is same as bandwidth of M of t. Agreed or not? Okay. So you know what is low pass filter, all those things. Okay. Now this is final output of the receiver. AC M of t by 2 is the final output. So that is proportional to M of t. Okay. So here we have two carriers. So this carrier is generated at the modulator. Okay. So this carrier is at the modulator. This is at the receiver or at the demodulator. Okay. So we are generating one more carrier at the receiver side. Okay. Already we had one carrier at the transmitter or at the modulator. So we have one more carrier at the receiver. They are exactly same. Please remember. Okay. So both carriers need to be same. Okay. So that's why it is called synchronous or coherent demodulation. So synchronous means the carrier at the transmitter or at the modulator and the carrier at the receiver or demodulator are having same phase and same frequency. You can observe very clearly. So these two carriers are exactly same. They have same phase, same frequency, etc. Okay. Now this is called coherence. It's also called coherence. So this process is called coherent demodulation or synchronous demodulation. Okay. So this is how we demodulate DSBSC. Okay. Now, so what happens if there is a loss of synchronization? As I told you, so these two carriers are in synchronization because they have same phase and same frequency. Okay. So it may happen sometimes. So the carrier that is generated at the receiver side may have some slight frequency differences or phase differences. It may happen because so one carrier is generated at the transmitter and one is at receiver. So these two carriers are generated in two different devices. Okay. Obviously, there may be some slight variations in the frequency as well as in the phase. Do you agree or not? Okay. So ideally, they should not have any differences. So like this, they should be like this. Then there is no problem. But sometimes what happens is, so this carrier and this carrier have some phase differences. Okay. Because so they are being generated at two different devices. Okay. So sometimes they may have some phase differences or frequency differences. Okay. Now your theta is called phase error. So these two are having some error in the phase. So that is theta. Then what happens? So if this is what the scenario. Okay. So this is a modulated signal. Okay. This is a modulated signal, and at the receiver we have this local carrier and it has got some phase error theta. Okay. So they have same frequency. Please observe this very carefully. They have same frequency but they have different phase. How much difference is that? Theta. Okay. Let us take theta. Then what happens? So proceed as usual. ACM of t by 2. So this to multiply these two and expand cos A into cos B. What do you get? Cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. This is what you get. Okay. So if you pass these through low pass filter, what happens? Can you tell me, anybody? So I told you now. So now tell me, what do you get?
ACM of t by 2 cos theta.
Yeah, this is what you get. This is what your output is. Okay. ACM of t by 2 cos theta. Why extra cos theta? Because of phase error in the carriers. Okay. So without any phase difference, what was output? AC by 2 M of t was output if there is no error in the carriers. I mean, if there is no phase error and if there is no frequency error, so this is output we are getting. But if there is a phase error in the carriers, this is output we are getting. So extra we are getting what term? Cos theta. Okay. Now, so what happens is because of this cos theta, we are getting some attenuation. Okay. So because cos theta always less than or equal to 1. Correct or not? So when cos theta is maximum, when theta equal to 0. Okay. Let us take some conditions. If theta equal to 0 means what? If theta is 0 means what? There is no error. Correct. So which means, so these two carriers are exactly same. Correct or not? So it is just like the previous case, ideal case, where the two carriers do not have any phase error or any frequency error. Okay. So this is what the pure coherent demodulation, pure coherence. Correct or not? So there is no phase error at all. Now, suppose if theta equal to 90, what output? 0. Why? Because cos 90 is how much? 0. Okay. So theta equal to 90 means what happens? So this is cos theta. This becomes cos 2 pi f ct plus 90. You get sin theta. Correct? Which means, so you are using cos theta as a carrier at the modulator, and if you use sin theta as a carrier at the demodulator, so finally what do you get? You get 0. Okay. Now this is the effect of loss of phase synchronization on the demodulator output. So what happens? So there is attenuation of the output. Output will be attenuated. Okay. Why? Because this cos theta always less than 1. What is the maximum value of cos theta? 1 only, right? Okay. So this will be always having a value less than 1. That's why R of t will be attenuated. Okay. So if theta is equal to 90, there is no output. So that is very, very dangerous. Okay. Now this is effect of loss of phase synchronization. Okay. Because so they have same frequency, but they have different phases. That is a phase synchronization. Okay. Now, so let us proceed further. Suppose if there is a loss of phase synchronization and as well as frequency synchronization. Okay. So there is a frequency error, this is a phase error. Okay. So here, so these two are having some differences in frequency and some differences in phase. Then what happens? So this is output you get. Okay. What do you get? ACM of t by 2 cos 2 pi delta f into t plus theta. Okay. Now this is extra term we are getting. The term is 2 pi into delta f theta, t plus theta. Okay. So your output will be distorted. Okay. So always you should make sure that so there won't be any loss of phase synchronization as well as frequency synchronization. So the carriers that you're using at the modulator and at the demodulator should have same frequency and same phase. Okay. So if not same, at least you must minimize these errors. Okay. This is about loss of, this is what happens. So this is about loss of phase mismatch. You can also call phase mismatch. So the carrier that is being generated at the demodulator side has some phase error theta. So this is output you get. Okay. So that is about DSBSC. We have seen DSBSC modulation, demodulation, spectrum, power efficiency, bandwidth, all those things. Okay. Now, so in the demodulation, what is the problem? The problem is we have two sidebands which are having identical information, which means they are having same information. Okay. So I can also say that we are unnecessarily transmitting two sidebands. If at all they're having same information, so it is enough to transmit one sideband. Correct. Okay. So that leads to one more kind of scheme that is called single sideband modulation. Okay. So yesterday someone rightly pointed out that so it is enough to transmit one sideband because both sidebands have same information. Okay. So that is a drawback of DSBSC AM as well as. Okay. Now that can be removed in the upcoming modulation scheme known as single sideband modulation. So in this, what do we remove? Any guesses? What do we remove? We remove any one of the sidebands.
Sidebands.
Either you remove upper sideband or you remove
Or
lower sideband. Okay?
lower sideband.
Yeah, anyone can be removed. Okay. This is what happens. Okay. Now this is DSBSC having two sidebands. So let me repeat. So in AM, in the spectrum of AM, we had three components: a carrier at FC, two sidebands. In DSBSC, what you have removed? We have removed carrier. Okay. Now in SSB, what are we removing? We are removing one of the sidebands. Okay. So this is what the evolution of modulation schemes. Okay. Now, so you look at carefully. This is the DSBSC having two sidebands, upper sideband and lower sideband. Now, so I am using a high pass filter with cutoff frequency how much? FC. This is a high pass filter, isn't it? Now, if you pass this signal through this high pass filter, what do you get? You get only upper sidebands, and this lower sidebands will be eliminated, isn't it? So this is a single sideband having which sideband? Upper sideband. Okay. In the same way, you can do reverse also, which means, so if you pass this signal through a low pass filter having cutoff frequency FC, what happens? Like this. So you retain lower sideband and you eliminate upper sideband. Either this one also come out. Okay. So either you transmit upper sideband or you transmit lower sideband. But so finally we transmit only one sideband. Either you transmit upper sideband or you transmit lower sideband. Okay. Now for this purpose, what we need? Just we have to pass this spectrum through a low high pass filter or a low pass filter. Okay. So if you want upper sideband, you use high pass filters. If you want lower sideband, you use low pass filter. Okay. So anything is all right. Okay. But so here not only high pass low pass filter, you can go do with band pass filters also. Okay. So this can be done using band pass filters also. So in you cannot always use high pass low pass filters. You can also go with the band pass filter like this band pass filter here. Here also one band pass filter like this. So here also one band pass filter like this. Here also one band pass filter like this. Okay. So simply by using filters, you remove any one of the sideband. It can be high pass, low pass, or band pass, whatever it is. Okay. So simply we remove one of the sidebands and we transmit only one sideband. Okay. That is simply single sideband modulation. Okay. Okay. So this method is called frequency discrimination method. So this method of generation of SSB is called frequency discrimination method. Okay. So what are we doing here? First, we generate DSBSC. Okay. After that, by using filters, we remove any one of the sideband. Okay. Either we remove upper sideband or we remove lower sideband. Okay. So here the problem with this method is, what the problem? We need filters which are having sharp cutoff frequencies. Okay. You can observe very clearly. Here I have taken filters which are ideal in nature. Otherwise, I have taken filters with sharp cutoff frequencies. Okay. So you know already. So designing ideal filters is very difficult. It is impractical. Why? Can you tell me reason?
Because it increases the area and cost.
So you're studying a DSP course, no? Yeah. So that there you study designing the filters also. I hope so. So designing ideal filters is very tedious task. It is very difficult. Okay, because they are non-causal. The reason is they are non-causal. Okay, so we'll come to know these things later. I hope in your course of DSP. So otherwise, you might have studied in your previous courses also. So designing any ideal filters is very difficult. Okay, remember this. Okay, but here, so we have ideal filters. We need ideal filters. Okay, so like that. So this is a problem of this method. Which method? Frequency discrimination method. So this is the spectrum of SSB. Okay, so this is the spectrum of SSB. If you transmit upper sideband, so this spectrum of SSB, if you transmit lower sideband. Okay, now here what is the bandwidth? What is the bandwidth? Only W, because we are transmitting only one sideband. So in DSBSC in AM, so the bandwidth was 2W because we are transmitting two sidebands. Okay, so since we are transmitting only one sideband, so the bandwidth becomes half, which means only W. Okay, so here in SSB the bandwidth is equal to W, that equal to message bandwidth. Okay, now SSB is much better than remaining two techniques when it comes to power and bandwidth. Okay, so here also there is no wastage of power. It has got 100% power efficiency. Okay, now in SSB, so we have 100% power efficiency and we have a bandwidth that equal to only W, not 2W. Okay, so this is called evolution of modulation schemes. Okay, so we are rectifying the problems in each and every modulation scheme and we are proceeding further. Okay, so you might observe all these things. So observe AM, what are the problems we have faced? In the next modulation scheme, we have removed one of the problem. Okay, so next in SSB, we have removed one of the another problem. Okay, so this is what SSB. Okay. Now, how to generate SSB? So as I told you already just now, so first generate DSBSC with the two sidebands. After getting DSBSC, so after getting DSBSC, if you use a filter, okay, you can remove any one of the sidebands. Here I'm using high pass filter. I told you just now. Okay, so if you want, just me go back. Now this is what we have generated DSBSC, and after that pass this DSBSC spectrum through this high pass filter. What do you get? You get SSB having upper sidebands. Okay, in other way, so this is generation of USB. Otherwise, generate DSBSC pass through low pass filter. You get lower sideband. Okay, so this is a generation method of SSB. Okay, now, so that is what SSB. Now, so in SSB, we have something called Hilbert transform. Okay, before that, any doubts so far? You can ask me now. Anyone? Any doubts? So, okay. I think you don't have any doubts. So, let us go to the next slide. Is it okay, all of you? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so let us study something called Hilbert transform. Okay. So that is very, very important. So Hilbert transform. Okay. So you might have studied Laplace transform, Fourier transform, jet transform also. I don't know about jet transform, but you might have studied Laplace as well as Fourier. Correct? Now, so we have one more transform that is called Hilbert transform. Okay. So now this is Hilbert transform of x of t. So that is denoted as x hat of t. This is called hat. So what is the notation of Hilbert transform? X hat, hat, H-E-A-T hat. It's just like hat. Okay. Now, so this is a duality of your S and S course. So you know this duality principle. X of t, x of omega, x of minus t, x of minus omega, all those things. Okay. So if you don't know, just refer your SS course. This is signum function. You might have studied already. What is signum function? Yes or not? Okay. So signum of t has a Fourier transform of 1 by j pi f. Okay. Signum of t having a Fourier transform of 1 by j pi f. Now here what I'm writing? So 1 by j pi t I can write here. Okay, anyway. So this is minus j signum of f. This is duality. Okay. So this is a very standard theorem of duality in the signals course. So anyway, I hope you are doing well with your signals systems. Okay. Now this is a duality principle. Okay. Now, so I don't want to waste much time on this signal system basics. Okay. Now, so please switch off your microphones, all of you. Yeah, it's a disturbance for us. All of you switch off your microphones. Okay. So impulse response of Hilbert transform is 1 by pi t. Okay. Now, so this is a Hilbert transform. Input is x of t. Impulse response is 1 by pi t. Output is x at t. Okay. Now, so what is x at t? What do you write generally? X of t convolution 1 by pi t. See, please switch off your microphones.
Sir, it is from Nikita device. Una Nikita. She has to switch off her.
Who is Nikita?
So now it is all right.
Okay. So here, this is the spectra. This is the system of Hilbert transform. So input is x of t. Impulse response is 1 by pi t. Now output is x hat of t. Now obviously, what is x hat of t? X of t convolution 1 by pi t. Okay, this is what you write. This is generally we write, right? This is S&S course. Now, so this is x hat of t. In the frequency domain, what I write? Can you tell me? I want to go into the frequency domain. What happens? X hat of t becomes x hat of f. Obviously. Okay. Yeah. So x of t becomes x hat of f. 1 by pi t Fourier transform is how much? Minus j signum of f. I am writing minus j signum of f. So this convolution here it becomes multiplication. X of t becomes x of f. I think it is very clear. Okay. Okay. Now, so let us write signum of f. This is signum of f. Correct? So when f is positive, it is 1. When f is negative, it is minus 1. See, so any signal, it is same whether it is in the time domain or in the frequency domain. Okay, please remember this. If I say delta of t or delta of f, they behave same whether it is in the time domain or frequency domain. Delta of t, delta of f, they behave same whether they are in the time domain or they are in the frequency domain. Okay. Now this signum of f, you might have read signum of t. Okay. The behavior is same in time domain as well as in the frequency domain. Always remember this. For any signal, they behave same in the time domain as well as in the frequency domain. So here, signum of f I am writing. Okay. So when this is f. So when f is positive, when f is more than 0, signum of f is 1. Okay. So when f is negative, it is minus 1. I hope this is the signum of t or signum of f signal. Okay. Now what is minus j signum of f? Why I am writing minus j? Because so we have this here. I want to know what is the characteristics of minus j signum of f. I want to know this term minus j signum of f. So this is what minus j signum of f. Okay. So multiply signum of f with minus j. This is what you get. If you multiply with minus j into 1, minus j. Correct? So minus j into minus 1, it becomes j plus j. Okay. So please look at this once. So this is signum of f. Okay. So general definition of signum of t or signum of f. I am multiplying this with minus j. Just minus j. Okay. Then what happens? So this is plus 1 into minus j. Minus j. it goes to negative. Okay, it is -1 into -j, it becomes +j. Okay, now -j signum of f equal to -j when f is what? More than 0. When f is more than 0, when f is positive, when f is more than 0, its value is -j. So -j equal to -90 degrees. Okay, so when f is negative, this is f. When f is negative, its value is how much? +j. +j means 90 degrees. Okay, so this is -j signum of f. So for positive frequencies, it has -90 degrees phase shift. For negative frequencies, it has 90 degrees phase shift. Okay, so mathematically combining these two, I will write like this. This is very, very important. Hilbert transform can be obtained simply by shifting the phase of each and every frequency component by -90 degrees. Okay, so this is one of the important properties of Hilbert transform. What it will do? Hilbert transform introduces a phase shift of -90 degrees for all frequency component. So that is evident from this equation. Okay, so here I have done mathematically. This is a mathematical expression actually. So why? Because you can observe very clearly. So for positive frequency, how much is the shift? -90. For negative frequency, what is the shift? +90. Okay, so mathematically I can say it is -90 for all frequencies. Okay, so observe very clearly. If for positive value of frequency, it is -90. For negative values of frequency, it is +90. So combining these two, I am making a single statement. What I am saying is, so it has got a phase shift of -90 for all frequencies, whether it is a positive frequency or whether it is a negative frequency. Okay. Now please remember this. Hilbert transform can be obtained by shifting the phase of each and every frequency component by -90 degrees. Okay. So this is the one of the important properties of Hilbert transform we have. Okay. So one more thing is Hilbert transform does not change the domain. So this is very, very important. Why? Because, okay, now tell me what is a Fourier transform? What do you write generally? Fourier transform is what do you write generally? X of t becomes x of f. You write f, isn't it? Yeah. So that is the meaning of transformation. Fourier transform means, so it transforms a signal from time domain to frequency domain. So same thing with the Laplace transform. X of t becomes x of s. So time domain to frequency domain only. So it is same thing with all transforms. But Hilbert transform does not change the domain. Okay. Here what I have written is, so x of t is, sorry, x hat of t is Hilbert transform of x of t. Okay. Both are in time domain only. So there is no change in the domain of the signal. So do you appreciate this point? Okay. See. So this is x of t, this x hat of t. Okay. Both are in time domain. So there is no change in the domain of the signal. Okay. So it won't happen in other transforms. You take any transform for that matter. You take a Laplace, you take a Fourier, you take a jet transform. So in all those transforms, there will be a change of domain. Actually, that is a literal meaning of transformation. Okay. But so in Hilbert transform, so the domain will not change. It is in the time domain only. Okay. So Hilbert transform if a constant is 0, you can find out this. That is your homework, you can say. Find out. So what is the Hilbert transform of a constant? You find out that. Okay. Now, so Hilbert transform of sine 2 pi fct. How to find out this? Sine 2 pi fct, as I told you, this definition, very, very important. You must introduce a phase shift of how much? -90 degrees. Okay. So here I want to know the Hilbert transform of sine 2 pi fct. What I do? Sine 2 pi fct, I write -90 degrees. So this is what you get. Now Hilbert transform of sin 2 pi fct is minus cos 2 pi fct. Okay, can you check, is it correct? I mean, I have doubt whether it is correct or not. So sin 2 pi fct minus 90, is it minus cos 2 pi fct? Anybody? I think it is correct or not?
Correct.
Can you tell me? Sin 2 pi fct minus 90 degrees, is it equal to minus cos 2 pi fct or plus cos 2 pi fct?
Minus cos 2 pi
Okay, I think this is correct then. Okay, now you can observe very clearly.
Minus only.
So minus, correct. Okay, so it is in the time domain. It is also in the time domain. So there is no change of domains of the signal. Okay, so this is the about Hilbert transform. So in the same way, cos 2 pi fct Hilbert transform is how much? Cos 2 pi fct minus 90 degrees. That becomes sin 2 pi fct. So this is about how we find Hilbert transform. Okay, so see, so whenever there is possibility of writing minus 90 degrees, we will write. If there is no possibility of writing that, what is the formula of Hilbert transform? This is the formula. In time domain, x hat of t equal to 1 by pi t convolution x of t. So remember, so this is a formula to find out Hilbert transform of any signal. Okay, this is the original formula of Hilbert transform of any signal. Okay, but so in some situations you can simply write a phase shift of minus 90 degrees and you can get the Hilbert transform of given signal. Okay, so remember both things. So it is nothing but phase shift of minus 90 degrees for all frequencies. Otherwise, you remember this formula. It is convolution of 1 by pi t and x of t. Okay, so otherwise in the frequency domain, this is minus j sigma of f x of f. Okay, you find out this. That is your homework. Okay, I will ask in the next class. Anyway, okay, so let us proceed further. Now let us find out x of t. I am taking x of t a signal, m of t cos 2 pi fct minus m hat of t sin 2 pi fct. So let us see what signal is this. Okay, so initially I am assuming x of t to be like this. X of t equal to m of t cos 2 pi fct minus m hat of t sin 2 pi fct. So let us see what is this signal x of t. I want to find out what is the signal x of t. Okay. Now, so these are all things we have studied already. M of t cos 2 pi fct as the Fourier transform of m of f plus fc plus m of f minus fc. What property is this? Can you tell me, anybody? What property is this? Or which theorem is this?
Modulation.
Modulation theorem. Okay. So here, that is a modulation theorem. So let us go to the next one. So m of t, m of f. We just find out what is that. So I am taking m hat of t having a Fourier transform of m hat of f. Okay. Now, so m hat of t sin 2 pi fct. So m hat of t sin 2 pi fct as a Fourier transform of 1 by 2j. This is also same property. Okay. So why I am getting 1 by 2j? Can you tell me? Anyone? So observe equation 1, equation 2. So why I am getting 1 by 2j here? What is the reason? So it is also modulation property only. They are same. Why I am getting 1 by 2j? Why? Because so the Fourier transform of sin 2 pi fct is what? Can you tell me? Anyone? Fourier transform of sin 2 pi fct. What is that?
1 by 2j of
1 by 2j. Okay, not of 1 by 2j. That's over, no?
yes.
1 by 2j del of f minus fc minus del of f plus fc. Okay, that's why you're getting 1 by 2j. Actually, they are exactly same formulas. So we are getting 1 by 2j here minus because of this sin 2 pi fct Fourier transform. Okay, anyway, so this is equation 1. Remember this, and this is equation 2. Okay, so equation 1, equation 2. Now, so what is the x of f? equation 1 minus equation 2. Is it okay, all of you? So let us, I hope you're okay with this. So observe very carefully. M of t cos 2 pi f ct having a Fourier transform of this. M hat of t sin 2 pi f ct having a Fourier transform of this. Correct? Now x of t is this minus this. Obviously, x of f is equation 1 minus equation 2. So equation 1 is this minus equation 2 is this. Is it okay, all of you? So if you're not okay, please observe very carefully now itself. Okay. I hope I have written everything very clearly. So I think it is okay with this. Is it okay? So
Okay, sir.
nothing is there, right? See, m of t cos 2 pi f ct, this is spectrum. M hat of t sin 2 pi f ct, this is spectrum. Okay. Now x of t is 1 minus 2. This minus this. So x of f also spectrum of this signal minus spectrum of this signal. So spectrum of this signal is this minus spectrum of second signal is this. Okay. Now, so let us observe this very carefully. I hope it is visible. Is it visible clearly, all of you? Okay. So
Yes.
okay, let us take first spectrum. This is m of f. What is that? Capital M of f. See, everything in frequency domain. Please observe very carefully. So all these figures are in frequency domain. Okay. Now this is M of f. Okay. Now this is M hat of f. What is this? M hat of f. So what is M hat of f? Fourier transform of M hat of t.
Hilbert
Okay.
transform.
Hilbert transform is over, no? Not only Hilbert transform. Okay, so this is what I have written. What is this? What is M capital M hat of f is what? It is a Fourier transform of
Fourier
Hilbert transform. Please remember
Yes,
this.
sir.
I have taken Fourier transform here. Here two transforms are there. M hat of t means it is Hilbert transform of M of t. Okay, clear? I have taken Fourier transform for that. You get M capital M hat of f. So why I am taking Fourier transform? Because Hilbert transform does not change the domain. Okay. If at all I want to go to frequency domain, I have to use Fourier transform. I don't have any other options. Okay. So this is this term is having both transforms, Hilbert as well as Fourier. Okay. Please make a note of this. Okay. Anyway, so this is M hat of f. Okay. Hilbert transform in frequency domain. You can say like this at least. This is minus j, this plus j. Why minus j plus j here? Can you tell me? Anybody? So this is M of f. This is M hat of f. So why it is writing this one, this minus this one only, right?
And
Yeah. Why? Why?
Change
So
in
here,
minus 30 degrees
yeah.
by
See,
Hilbert
this is what happens. Okay. So to get Hilbert transform, so what I have done? The frequency is positive, multiply with minus j. Okay. Negative, multiply with j. Is it clear? Okay. I have done same thing here. So this is a positive portion. Yes or not? This is a positive portion. I multiply with minus j. So this is a this negative portion, negative frequency. I multiply with only j. Okay. Now, so this is equation 1. What is this term? What is this equation 1? So this represents equation 1. I have written very clearly here. Okay. So this is equation 1. What is equation 1? This one. So this one is represented using figure like this. Okay. Now this is equation 2 figure. What equation 2? This one. So this one is represented using figures like this. Okay. So this is equation 1 figure. This is equation 2 figure. Okay. Now, so here what we have done? What is this? Equation 1 minus equation 2. Yes or not? Here what you have done? We have taken equation 1 minus equation 2. Equation 1 this minus equation 2 is this. Agreed or not? Okay. Now then what happens? So equation 1 minus equation 2. 1 minus 2. What do you get? You subtract these two waveforms. What do you get? Subtract this from this. You can try. What happens? What I'm asking is, so this figure minus this figure. Okay, let us see. So this figure minus this figure. Okay. So what happens here? So this is 1 by 2. Okay, here it is minus 1 by 2. It is 1 by 2. Here it is 1 by 2. Here it is minus 1 by 2. Okay. Now subtract this minus this. 1 minus 2. You get like this. You can see very clearly. Okay. So take your own time.
To
And
upper
tell
side
me
band
whether it's-
formula.
Yeah. So will you get this or not? First of all, tell me. So I'm subtracting two signals.
Sir,
See, this minus this. What happened? Any doubts? So I am asking you to observe what do you get if you subtract this signal from this signal? Or can you tell me what is the output of signal 1 minus signal 2? So you can note down on a piece of paper, you can tell me at least. It is 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2, this is 1 by 2, it is also 1 by 2, it is also 1 by 2. So this is what you get. So is it okay all of you or any doubts? So if it is not correct, just let me know. You can try. So it is nothing but subtracting two signals, nothing more than that. Okay. So here, so let us do like this. It is 1 by 2. It is minus 1. Let us take positive frequency. Okay. So here it is 1 by 2. Here it is minus 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 minus of minus 1 by 2. What it becomes? 1 by 2 minus of minus 1 by 2. It becomes 1. Or something like this. Slope, this is slope. Minus 1 by 2, all these are slopes. Okay. It is 1. Now here. So it is 1 by 2. It is also 1 by 2. 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. What do you get? 0. So here it is 0. Okay. So to the left side of FC, it is 1 by 2. It is also 1 by 2. To the left side of FC, both are 1 by 2s. So this minus this is nothing but 0. To the right side of FC, it is 1 by 2. It is minus 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 minus of minus 1 by 2, it is 1. Okay. Just like this. Okay. So same thing happens in the negative frequency side also. Okay. Now what is the signal? 1 minus 2 signal. What is that? Anybody?
USB.
Correct. So this is the
SSB.
SSB having upper side band. SSB having upper side band.
Upper side.
Means now here what is X of t? Can you tell me? What is X of t?
Modulated.
It is SSB modulated signal having upper side band. See, consider a modulated signal X of t. So in the starting, I did not tell you what is X of t. Did they tell you? No. I just assumed that X of t equal to m of t cos 2 pi fct minus m hat of t sin 2 pi fct. We have proceeded like this. We have taken the spectrum of each and every signal. Finally, so 1 minus 2 means X of f. Okay. So X of f is what? 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 2? Single sideband modulation having upper sideband. and removing lower sideband. Okay, so this is, if we go back, let us go back. Okay, this is what we are, it is starting, this is a x of t. Means what is x of t now? X of t is a equation of SSB signal. Not only that, there we are transmitting upper sideband. Now this is the SSB equation. Okay, now we have equation for AM, we have equation for DSBSC, and this is the equation of SSB having upper sideband. Okay, what is that? M of t cos 2 pi f ct minus m hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. So it is somewhat different from the previous two techniques. Okay, so in previous two techniques we don't have Hilbert transform. We have written something using cos theta sin theta only. Okay, but so here we are getting Hilbert transform. Okay, remember this. So this is the transmitted signal equation of SSB having upper sideband. Okay. Now, so what is 1 plus 2 you get? What is 1 plus 2 you get? You take 1 plus 2. This figure plus this
Lower
figure. You can
lower
add these two.
sidebands.
You get again SSB. You get this again SSB only. But here we are transmitting lower sideband, not upper sideband. Okay. So here, so if you subtract these two, you are getting SSB with upper sideband. If you add these two, you are getting SSB with lower sideband. Okay. So what are these two? First of all, what are these two? What is equation 1? What is equation 2? What is equation 1? So m of t cos 2 pi f ct. In time domain, I'm asking. What is equation 1 in time domain? M of t cos 2 pi f ct. So what is equation 2 in time domain? M hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. Now tell me the equation of SSB. Anybody? Now tell me. So if you add these two equations, you are getting what? SSB having what sideband?
Lower sideband.
Lower sideband. Good. So if subtract these two equations, you are still getting SSB but having upper sideband. Okay. So this is what the final equation. So generally students make mistake. What the write means, upper sideband means they write plus here. Lower means they write minus. Because that is most suited one. No? Upper means more. That's why we should write plus. Lower means less. So we should write minus. No, it is reverse. Are you getting what I'm saying? So here things are reverse. You get upper sideband when m of t cos 2 pi f ct minus m hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. Okay. You get lower sideband when m of t is cos 2 pi f ct plus m hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. So these two are equations of SSB only. For SSB, we have two equations. Why? Because we have a flexibility of transmitting upper sideband or lower sideband. So if you transmit upper sideband, we get one equation. So if you transmit lower sideband, we get another equation. So this is the transmitted signal equation of single sideband modulation. Am I clear? Okay. Now we write plus or minus finally. Okay. This is final equation of SSB. X SSB of t equal to m of t cos 2 pi f ct plus or minus m hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. So this is the equation of SSB. If I use plus, what I am transmitting? Which sideband I am transmitting?
Lower sideband.
Lower sideband. If I use minus, I am transmitting upper sideband. Okay. So that is the logic, right? So that is about single sideband modulation. Correct. Okay. Now this is one more method of generation. So we have seen just now one method of generation of SSB. Which method? Can you tell me? Which method? Frequency discrimination method. Okay. So let me go back. So this is what I have explained just now. So this is one method of generation of SSB where first we generate DSBSC. This is DSBSC. And we use filtering to remove one of the sidebands. Okay, so this is one method of generation of SSB, that is called frequency discrimination method. Okay, now we have another method from these equations, that is called phase shifting method. Now this is how we generate DSBSC, sorry, SSB directly. Now let us go through these ones. M of t, okay, M of t is common for all, common for two paths. Do you appreciate this? M of t is given to two paths, this path as well as this path. Okay, so okay, M of t, it goes here, it's the product, multiply with what? Cos 2 pi f ct. Here what happens? What output here? Can you tell me? What output of this product? M of t cos 2 pi f ct. Cos 2 pi f ct. Here M of t goes here. Here we have Hilbert transform. Here you get m hat of t. Okay. Now cos 2 pi f ct minus 90. So here you become sin 2 pi f ct. Okay. Now here you get m hat of t. Here you get sin 2 pi f ct. Now output of this multiplier is what? M hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. Yes or not? Okay. Now output of this multiplier is m of t cos 2 pi f ct. Output of this multiplier is m hat of t sin 2 pi f ct. Now here we have plus or minus. If you use plus, you get SSB having lower side band. If you use minus symbol here, you get SSB having upper side band. Okay, so this is the another method of generation of SSB. Okay, anyway, finally, so nothing is easy. No method is easy. It is also very difficult. Why? Because so the generation of Hilbert transform is very, very difficult, and multiplication is also very, very difficult. Okay, so SSB generation is difficult. So the problem of SSB is its generation. Okay, it doesn't have any problem except generation problem. Okay, so why? Because it is having a better power efficiency, 100% power efficiency, and furthermore it is using very, very less bandwidth. How much? Only W. Okay, so if you go back to the previous techniques, AM, DSBSC, they are using 2W bandwidth, but SSB using only W bandwidth. Okay, so when it comes to using power and bandwidth, it is using very, very less power and very, very less bandwidth. Not power, I can say it has more power efficiency and as well as bandwidth efficiency. But so the problem is with the generation. Okay, so what is the time? Is it over?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we stop here. So for the next class, please read these slides. Okay, so this is homework to you. You must read up to from that to 300, up to 300 slide. Okay, so please come with reading. Okay, so we stop here. Thank you.
Sir, can you suggest some projects for us, like mini projects, which we can do by using in this subject?
So minipad means you can design what do you call FM radio, but it is in the next chapter, I hope. So let us see. So without studying subject, you cannot do any project here.
Okay, sir.
First of all, you have to study something. No, you should know what is what. So for that, at least we should complete 2 or 3 chapters. So after completion of some chapters, I will tell you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Just we are in the first chapter itself, so you cannot do anything right now. Okay. So right, thank you. Stop here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.